From emails to reports and project proposals, it's hard to meet the demands of today's competing priorities without some help. Grammarly is the essential AI communication assistant that boosts your productivity at work so you can get more of what you need done faster. Just a few clicks can tailor your tone and writing so you come across exactly as you intend. Get time back to focus on your high-impact work. Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com/podcast.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. In 30 minutes, Julian Edlow on the program from DraftKings. We'll talk about tonight's NBA card. Jeff Seeley later on the golf tournament this week with his best bets. He loves a top 20, by the way, this week. Joe Osborne coming up on the show today. Super Bowl trends. He already made a bet. He could not wait to bet it, in fact, on Sunday night. And Doug Kazarian will be in studio for a full hour a little bit later on today. Looking forward to that. We've known Doug for a long, long time out here in Las Vegas. That's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, we'll sprinkle in plenty on the Super Bowl as well, Pauly. But it seems like we have some pretty big NFL news to get to before that. And that would be the surprise twist in the coaching saga yesterday, as I think everybody expected Ben Johnson to take the Commanders' job. I know that some people thought the Seahawks were still in play for him. But how about that? He decided to stay put as the OC for the Detroit Lions. That's massive news for the Lions.
Yeah.
That is huge because the guy was so good calling the plays with that design, how good the offense was in general. People panicking about, well, we're going to see the real Dan Campbell once this guy moves on and takes a head coaching job. He didn't do it. So, and we saw, by the way, what happened this year with a team like Philadelphia when they lost their coordinators can play a huge part in not sustaining that level of success. Adam Schefter tweeted this out after he broke the news. He said Ben Johnson was not the head coaching lock that people thought.
Boomer Esiason used that word. And others.
Called it a lock?
To Washington, yes. Okay. Done deal, yes.
And his asking price spooked some teams. You know, the American public, they've had a major problem with athletes' salaries for as long as I can remember. Are we going to start to hear the same backlash when coaches are getting $15, $20 million a season?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem, too, if I'm a Lions fan, if the OC makes more than the head coach.
No. Right?
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Some people speculated that this could hurt his chances down the road because he's pulled his name out late in the process, and Washington thought they were close, and that's ridiculous because just look at Josh McDaniels and what he did to the Colts. It's a major win for the Lions. Huge news. Great for them. Good for Ben Johnson. He's only 37. He'll have plenty of opportunities. Was the Washington job really that good when you look at it? And does this open the door now for Belichick? Is Belichick back in the mix now? And maybe he doesn't sit out the season because we thought this was going to be the landing spot anyways. Not Atlanta, that he was going to go to Washington. And there was a mutual admiration society. So now this opens a door. I don't know what's the holdup in Seattle. Maybe it is McDonald. Maybe Lombardi's going to get that right and others. But maybe this is the Belichick's landing spot with Washington.
Yep. Seems to make a little bit of sense here. And I think they're also nuts if they don't make that happen now.
Yep.
Right. And it's not just Belichick, by the way. If the Commanders can't land Bill, or I'll throw out Mike Vrabel, after whiffing on Ben Johnson with new ownership, I know what you're saying about potentially. They also have the number 2 pick overall in the draft. You need to make this work. Like, you're not the Carolina Panthers. You're not going to get Dave Canales, no offense. You need to get a better coach or a guy that is thought to be someone like Belichick would make a ton of sense right now. And if he wants whatever, it's $12 million a year. That's the going rate. Make it happen. Ben Johnson wanted a lot of money. Did he deserve it? I don't know, because he's never, been a head coach in his entire life. Some guys are awesome coordinators, not great head coaches. So I think we would probably know more of that in like 2 or 3 years.
If you're Washington, you can block the Cowboys too, because there's a good chance McCarthy is out and Belichick could be coaching the Cowboys next year.
Well,
now you see reports that Jerry hasn't ruled it out, and the Eagles were interested in Belichick. He was available. If he just would have done the right thing, not so much maybe in Philly, but certainly, and a lot of people are off the Sirianni train, but certainly in Dallas, McCarthy should have been let go.
When's the last time the Commanders were relevant on the football field?
Oh, God. RG3?
It has been, that's more than a decade ago.
Yeah. Fun to watch. A team to worry about.
For sure.
A team that can make a deep playoff run. A team that had a future you were excited about. Yeah. Gibbs, if you don't want to say RG3, because I don't think they won a playoff game, you got to go back to Gibbs then.
Mm-hmm. So odds are up, globally speaking here, where Bill Belichick's going to be at next season. And currently, there's not even an NFL team listed. You can only bet on which network he's going to go to as an analyst. They got them all up. Amazon, and if Amazon's the shortest shot on the board at 2-1. Mm-hmm. NFL Network, and then the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah. We're in February tomorrow, and Washington still doesn't know what they're doing.
I would be severely disappointed in that region of the country.
Yeah.
If you get news today that no interest in Bill Belichick. You got to target the guy now.
Yeah.
You have to. Him or Vrabel. Lock it in. Make it happen.
Yeah.
At least have the conversation here.
Yeah. Again, he was awful as a GM and evaluating talent through the draft. And again, we've been over that. They never signed a guy since 2013 to a second deal. But you just saw it with no one's better with the game plan. Also, when he got involved late in the season with offensive play calling and how they ruined Denver's season, went to Pittsburgh and won. I mean, he's a genius. He's a GOAT. So the fact that you could come in and bring him in there immediately and be relevant and maybe, who knows, go 500, you never know.
Sure.
Which you can't rule out the possibility that division's open. Number one, no one ever repeats. You go back to 2004, you don't have a repeat champ. And Dak could get hurt. Cowboys could be a mess. Who knows what happens in Dallas with the lame duck situation with McCarthy, and certainly Sirianni was exposed.
Yeah, right. I have no idea what to make of Philadelphia going into next year.
That's right, yeah. But great job by the Lions. And boy, is that a sexy division. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, that is, as sad as the Lions fans were after halftime on Sunday night, this helps ease the pain a little bit going into next year. Because that would have been a very painful 1-2 combination to give away the game like you did in the second half. And then, they just assumed Ben Johnson was gone. And then this actually was a little bit of a silver lining for that entire organization. And now it's not like you're not a team that continues to be a laughingstock here. And I'm glad he did this.
Good for him.
Yeah.
How about the other big news? So maybe Belichick's back in the mix with Washington. Johnson stays put. Brady doing interviews saying he is getting reps and working out with Burkhardt. Tom Brady's going to do this. I don't know about Belichick, and I don't know if Bill will be good. And I don't know about Tom. And he's making all this money now, and then Greg Olsen going to get demoted. This is only in this business, right? The only profession in America you can start at the top without any experience or qualifications. What's your experience? Well, I played the game. Okay, You'll be great. Here's
$30 million a year.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it works, but this is. Who knows what look at Romo. Everyone loved him year one. People can't stand him now.
Sure.
And Romo certainly has been awful the last couple of years, and his performance has gone downhill. I like Aikman. I love Collinsworth. But now we're going with the quarterback route here where it's okay, see how Tom Brady does.
Yeah.
And he's going to, and also the other thing, I think it's a media creation. He is polarizing. And I did throw it out there on social media on Sunday because people are saying, this can't be. Someone's got to land Greg Olsen. I don't think the guy's any good.
Well, some people love him.
Absolutely. And I think it's a lot of people in the media though as well. But I just think was the popular thing to say and tweet. I like Greg Olsen. I like, people were saying in the media, and I can't stand him. Number one, he never shuts up. Number two, it was the old Tool song, right? He has a lot to say. He has a lot of nothing to say. He hedges every comment he makes. And the other one is he's not opinionated. He won't rip officials, and he won't rip coaches and game plans. And somehow people think this guy is a great analyst. So I don't think the other thing is we don't know with Brady's lack of experience and lack of reps what he'll be like, and if he will even come close to deserving that salary, because you certainly don't tune into an NFL game to watch the announcers.
Yeah. Does it seem odd to you that Tom Brady is going to be like in the late window on Sunday afternoon? It's not really considered a primetime game. Is that bizarre to you? Like, he's not on the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
He's not doing Thursday nights. Mm-hmm. He's not doing Monday nights.
Here's 49ers Seahawks.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
On a Sunday at 4:25 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Or whatever the big matchup of the day is that on Fox. But if he takes it seriously, if he preps, which all indications are that's what he's going to do, I'm sure he'll be really, really good. Wasn't that the downfall here on Romo the last couple of years?
That's been the criticism, and that's from people inside that work with him.
Right.
He's phoning it in and not doing the research and the prep work.
Well, okay.
And getting exposed every Sunday. Hey, Jim, here we go. I mean, okay.
I think the analytical crowd liked Greg Olsen because he did embrace like going for it on fourth down. I wonder where Brady's going to be at with that. Because when he retired again, like, analytics were around for sure. I mean, he only retired last year. But like at the tail end of his career, that's when analytics were really getting heavy.
Yeah.
He played for a long time, I want to say, where
Collinsworth was big into it.
You're right. It wasn't exactly like the number one dominant thing that we hear about all the time today. And how teams need to embrace the new information, the new numbers. Is Brady going to be that way? Is he going to be a little old school? Is it going to be a combination of the two? I'm sure as long as he puts the time in, the guy's going to be awesome.
I'm surprised.
Do you think Tom Brady's going to embarrass himself?
Oh, good point. I know.
He has way too much pride.
I'm surprised he's doing this, though. Well, the money's nice.
I kind of appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, okay. I just go travel and just go, date models and just have a rotation, live like DiCaprio.
Would you ever want to hear Aaron Rodgers, knowing what we know about him now in the broadcast booth?
Yeah, right.
That's a hard pass.
Mm-hmm.
But Brady, I think, is going to be, also $37 million a year.
Well, who saw this coming? What these guys make, right? When you had the wars and the bidding wars over Buck and Aikman, and you just saw what the money was they're throwing around here. It's like, okay, well, I work a couple days a week. Fine, sign me up. Romo started it, Buck, Aikman, and now Brady setting a whole new bar. It's
another thing, right? If these teams are spooked by Ben Johnson's asking price, what was it 10, 12 million maybe a year? Brady's making $37 million as an analyst.
Yeah.
Coaches, that's 1/3 of what an analyst is going to make.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next, we'll recap last night's betting action and win some, lose some. And some of these combo bets to win the Super Bowl MVP are very creative, and you might find some very strong value in them as well. We'll explain coming up next here on VSiN.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Expect the unexpected. If this is any indication, it's going to be wild in March in college hoops. South Carolina, 7-1. They won at Tennessee. Their first win on the road against a top 5 team since 1997. They just beat Kentucky and Tennessee. What a story for South Carolina. No expectations. People thought they're going to be awful this year. I saw one quote that people found going into the year that they thought the head coach and the whole staff was in over their heads.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Have you seen Lenardi, like where they're at in terms of attorney team?
I think last week they were just barely in.
Okay, so now...
I'll look. He changed it last night. I'll look.
They have 3 losses on the entire year, and in the span of a week, they have that win last night.
Thanks, Luke.
Okay, as a 14, 15-point dog, and they took apart Kentucky last week at the same time.
Yeah.
How is there any doubt that they're a tournament team? I don't care about rankings, but how are they not ranked at this point?
Yeah, you're right. Good job. Georgia Tech, good call, Matt Humans, plus 370. That was opened 11, down to 8.5, and they beat North Carolina. Carolina was hot, and Tech gets the win. Celtics Pacers over, 239.5 up to 249.
A 10-point move on a total in the NBA at this point of the season.
And, well, Halliburton playing's a big one. Celtics also couldn't cover. That was ridiculous. They were up 20 in that game. Knicks Jazz under, 234.5 up to 229. How about the Knicks? 14-2 in January. They've won 8 in a row. And when the game is played, when their opponent is under 500, they're 20-0 on the season against teams with a losing record. What a job by the Knicks.
That number just seemed so fishy last night. Both teams were on a back-to-back. I get it. There was no OG again last night. No Randall. They're 4-point favorites at home to the Jazz. And for what it's worth, I love the pick when the Bucks selected Dante DiVincenzo. He's on like his fourth team. Guy's playing like a superstar right now. You got to be patient with some of these players.
Harden's rocking too. It's great. Hawks from 4.5 up to 6. Beat the Lakers.
Losers for me. If I make the case to fade Atlanta again this season, you guys have permission to tackle me outside the studio.
Yeah, you just can't get a read on a particular team. I know it's tough.
What is that called? Can I be on the self-inclusion list on the Atlanta Hawks only? Can that team be wiped away from every sports betting app that I have?
Don't allow me into this particular casino. Right. Newcastle 3-1. They beat Aston Villa. Luton Town plus 330. How about this? They scored 20 seconds into the match. They went over their team total 2 minutes in. They won 4-0. Routed Brighton. Fulham Everton draw plus 225. The 0-0 detector was out. Portsmouth Oxford United draw plus 240. Bristol City Coventry draw plus 265. And hello, Masson. Big news. The Angelos family sells the Orioles for $1.7 billion. In 1993, paid $173 million for it. Pretty good ROI. Not bad.
Yeah, pretty decent, I'd say.
Yep. There you go.
And so now, will the new ownership sit on all these prospects?
I thought it was a disgrace what happened the last couple of years. 2 years ago, they didn't go for it at the deadline. Last year, they didn't really make a trade other than Flaherty. And number one, bring up the prospects and also make a big time. Could have had Verlander. Could have had several guys, but didn't do it. Ran like a mom and pop store. Could have won the World Series. But there's your $1.7 billion. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. This is a good one. The lady is taking a 12-pack of Pepsi, cuts it open, removes the cans, and then cuts it in half, and then makes it like splits it up cuts the 12-pack, the box in half, and this is her game day platter for football. Do it for Championship Sunday, do it for the Super Bowl. And you have celery, you got the carrots, you have the popcorn, you have the chips, you have the nachos, and then on like the football field is where you have your dip and how she makes it. There's your sour cream, right? Where she makes it like a football field in the middle. There you go. There's the tray in the middle, which is going to be the football field. And then there's your goal post set in there. And then surrounded by your sodas, your chips, your dip. Look at that. She just, look at that. And there's your 1 minute video on fast forward, cutting up. It all starts with a 12-pack of Pepsi and removing the cans, cutting it open and making your boxes and compartments. And it's designed like a football field.
So now this video will probably take off and have 10 million views.
Sure, as it should.
And people all across the country are going to be copying this.
Yes.
Vikings t-shirt on, by the way. Any relation by chance? Did your aunt send you this video?
Yeah, it's like True Detective. Jodie Foster's got the Vikings sweatshirt on in the first episode. There you go. Talking about fantasy football. How about this? I've never seen this before. You want a floating bathtub?
I do want this.
It's like a hammock. I've never seen it before where it's built into the wall with these steel rods. And then, okay, how do I turn on the water? How does it work? Okay, let me show you. Another great video. It's on the wall.
And the water comes out over here on the wall.
That's right. You do this knob on the wall, and then it comes down, and this is your floating bathtub, and then the water drains underneath into the rocks. Bingo.
I'm not much of a bath guy. I don't know anybody who is, but I am a hammock guy.
I couldn't do it. I'd have issues with the back from the get-go. I can see it already.
Oh, that looks super comfortable.
That was,
a levitating bath like that?
I'm not a bath guy either.
Well, no, I
can't do that. That's a thing for a female.
Yeah, it is.
That's, you have a book, have some wine, light some candles, get out of here. I'm watching the game. I'm not taking a bath.
I like a nice hammock, though.
Yeah.
You can win me over with a nice hammock, yeah. Just leave me alone. I want to go out there, lay down a little bit. It's generally going to be outside, nice breeze. Okay, don't talk to me, though.
Yeah. Chime in, guys. The females, too. We had every demo on this show. If you're with the bath. It's Uncle June. You turn your head, they slip one in on you. Bulls from 4 up to 7. They were blowing out the Raptors. They lost the game. Also, they couldn't get over the total. There was a stretch where there was like 4 points scored in a 4-minute stretch in the fourth. It's just nonsense. And also, lose. I'm going to put under lose some. I don't know. If you have a ton of money, live your life, I guess. Someone yesterday put $100,000 on the coin toss.
I saw that.
What in God's name, right? What of all the things to bet in that kind of money? $100,000 on the coin toss.
That's probably I have so much money. Look at what I'm going to do. Impress some people. Let's have some fun.
Well, but early bet, though. That was that's odd. To do it on a Tuesday. We're not even close to the game. Hey, you don't shut the TV off when the kids are watching. Volume all the way up here. This is good. Number 8. Here we go. The dogs are watching TV. The guy comes in from the other room and shuts it off, and this guy isn't happy at all. He's losing it, right? What are you doing? I was watching my show. Put it back on, right? The other guy jumps off the bed, right? And he puts it back on. It's okay, back to. Look at that. That is awesome. How good is that? We'll put that. That'll be up later. Pauly does Vegas on Instagram. The one guy's big, ferocious bark, right? And the other guy jumps off the bed. It's like, what are you doing?
He wants a word. Yeah.
Yes, he wants a word. Well said. I'm watching my program. What are you doing? And he goes nuts until he puts his program back on. That is great. A vicious beat. Vicious. VCU and St. Bonnie's. VCU was getting 4 or 4.5. They were up 20 late in the first half. St. Bonnie's comes all the way back, and then VCU fouls down 3 with 1 second.
Oh, boy.
They make their free throws. St. Bonnie's won by 5. That's the only time St. Bonnie's was covering the whole game.
Oh.
Go hurt somebody else. Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. Download the app now. Use code VEASAN. Bet $5. Get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Official sports betting part of the NFL. The crown is yours. Go get them.
All right, so Circa, where we broadcast from every single day, located in a handful of states, and you can find these bets up wherever they're located. I love these MVP combo bets now in the Super Bowl. For example, if you think it's going to be either one of the quarterbacks, you get Purdy or Mahomes minus 250 on the yes. But if you don't, if you think it's going to be somebody else, the no is plus $2.
Bookmaking the way it should be. Yeah, that's right.
They offer the yes, no on everything.
That's right. I love the Mahomes or Kelsey. Yes, no, Mahomes, Kelsey. That's plus 115 the yes. No, minus 145.
Well, for those of you who are on the other side, you can think about this for a second. You can bet Purdy and McCaffrey. The yes is minus 105. If Pauly loves the Chiefs, then also the no there is minus 125 on that. Bet both of them then. If you want to get a little bit deeper here, you get a trio here on the Niners side. Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. The yes is plus 1150.
I cannot believe Bosa has better odds for MVP than Kittle. To me, that's staggering.
Yeah. I would not. Again, I took a couple of dart throws on guys who were 250 to 1 beyond on the defensive side. I'm not betting a defensive player again after Aaron Donald at 25 to 1 in that range. Not doing it.
I mean, what would Bosa have to do? And then you'd have to shut out the outlet. Well, McCaffrey's going to get shut down. I mean, what's the path for Bosa to win?
He has to destroy Mahomes honestly, he's got to just jump off the page as the best player in the football field, have like 3 sacks and a couple of forced fumbles in a low-scoring game. That's what he has to do. We'll hit the NBA card, and big news last night potentially here, even more so in the MVP market. Julian Edlow from DraftKings will explain coming up on Follow the Money. It's VEASAN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VEASAN.
With the VEASAN experts to work for you, start betting smarter with a VEASAN Pro subscription. Get on board. Your first year, $199. Promo code FTM. Check out the brand new website, the leaderboard, who has the hot hand with the best bets, the betting splits, show you where the money and bets are moving every game, unbelievable dog videos, floating bathtubs, whatever you need, and the Super Bowl betting guide, best bets, everyone's favorite prop bets, promo code FTM, first year $199, vsin.com/subscribe.
Julian Edlow joins the program now. He's with DraftKings and a show called The Sweat, which is on weekends here on VSiN and the DraftKings Network, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturday and Sundays. Julian, thanks for the time today. We appreciate it. We're coming off of a late game last night. The Warriors defeated the Sixers by 12. And now what to do in the MVP market, because you wake up today and you see Embiid at 15 to 1 to win the MVP. He can only miss a couple of more games throughout the entire season. And then last night, Kuminga landed on his leg. He had to leave the game in the third quarter. He needs an MRI. What is your advice here with the MVP?
Yeah, I mean, MVP-wise, when I sent these topics into Luke before I went to bed early on the East Coast, I wanted to talk about MVP when Embiid was like shorter than 5 to 1. And then I go to bed and Embiid gets injured again in a market where he had already missed those couple of games and it was looking like it was kind of getting away from him just in terms of probability of playing enough games to win it. And then he gets hurt in that game, a game that he wasn't playing well to begin with, and the market flips upside down. Embiid, who was as short as plus 140 10 days ago, is now 15 to 1. So Jokic is odds on, minus 120. You see it on the board there. It's hard not to give it to Jokic any year. Like, we're getting to that point. Last year, everybody thought it, or a lot of people thought it should have been Jokic over Embiid, and it went to Embiid. And then we saw that play out in the postseason and make everybody look silly. I kind of have my eyes on SGA here still at 3 to 1. He's been the guy I've had my eyes on throughout the course of the season. If OKC gets the 1 seed, how much does he have to do to kind of win the award over Jokic, who's obviously the more valuable player, the best player in the NBA? We always get into this conversation with these awards, like, what does a certain guy have to do to win it from the guy everybody knows is the best player? What does somebody have to do in the NFL to win it over Tom Brady? What did somebody have to do to win it over Jordan in the 90s? I think OKC having this type of turnaround and getting the 1 seed and SGA putting up, 30 plus points per game on the shooting splits and efficiency that he's doing it with is enough to potentially take it from Jokic. So I'm not laying juice with Joker. I can't do minus 120. I think it would be SGA or pass for me in the market. And I know you got like Luka shooting up with the 70 points, Giannis with all the triple doubles. I don't know if they can ultimately get there. So SGA would be the guy for me at this point.
Okay, very good. This is a very tough card today. There's a lot of big point spreads, and you also have several superstars are questionable or may not play. Let's start with the Nuggets Thunder game, and what do you want to do here, and what would happen if the superstars sit this one out?
Yeah, so let me go through the laundry list here. Jokic is questionable for the Denver side. OKC side, SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Lou Dort are questionable, while Jalen Williams, the Jalen Williams that starts and plays on the wing from Santa Clara, is out. So OKC is already a little shorthanded and has the potential with those other guys questionable to be even more shorthanded. But I also can't bet the Nuggets with Jokic potentially out. So this is it has to be a wait and see game. You can't start plugging away with this many names on the list. But if Jokic and SGA were to both miss, you see the total there at 229. That one took a ton of money already since the lines came out. If those guys were to miss, this game would absolutely be an underplay for me. You take those two type of offensive efficiency guys off the floor, it's going to be a completely different game, even with the rest of the talent on the floor. And then you just look at it. If SGA were to miss this game, you go through the OKC side of things. Who's that guy that is going to take over the bulk of the efficiency? And it's, Jalen Williams is already out. So you start to look at Josh Giddey props. You start to look at Keyshawn Wallace props. Those guys are going to have to pick up a ton of slack, whether Holmgren and Dort play or not, because Holmgren's doing his thing in the front court. Dort's more of a 3-and-D guy. So if SGA were to miss, there's going to obviously be some guards on the OKC side that you can play. And then when if Jokic were to wind up missing for Denver, that one becomes a little more difficult. DeAndre Jordan plugs in, but is he a guy that you want to be betting props in at this stage? I don't know. If we were to get Peyton Wallace props, if Jokic were to miss, those would be something I would be very interesting in. But again, a lot of moving pieces here. Let's wait and see.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Julian Edlow, our guest with DraftKings. His show is called The Sweat, weekends, 8 a.m. Eastern time on the DraftKings Network and right here on VSiN as well. So I think some people may be waking up today noticing this Timberwolves line against the Mavericks. They're going to be it's going to be an eye-opening, jarring, wait a second, what? The Wolves are 14? Well, what the hell's going on here? Can you explain why the point spread is so big in this game tonight?
So a lot of people out for Dallas. Luka's out. Kyrie is out. Derek Lively is out. And then Dante Exum and Derek Jones Jr. are both questionable. So we can essentially call it a punt game for Dallas, even if Exum and Jones were to play and get out there and eat some minutes. So this is now going to turn into Tim Hardaway Jr., who is always tremendous when Kyrie sits. He played 37 minutes last game against Orlando and scored 36 points. Mm-hmm. So he's a guy to potentially look at on a point prop because he's kind of the volume scorer when these guys are out. But you also have Josh Green, who's playing very well. Not last game, but just overall this season. Josh Green would soak up a ton of minutes. He's played 33 or more minutes in 3 straight games and hasn't really done much. He scored 21 against the Hawks. And then Hardy would be the other guy. Jaden Hardy can turn into kind of a volume guy. He played 27 minutes in that Magic game, shot 8 of 9 from the field. I don't think he'll be that efficient again, but the volume is certainly going to be there with guys like Doncic and Kyrie out. And then again, I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if a Dante Exum or a Derek Jones Jr. were to be added to that injury list out, those are guys that would play 30 minutes tonight if they are healthy enough to play. So if we can get one of those guys out too, the props on these other wings that are healthy and going to play become that much more valuable. So it's against Minnesota. You're risking, playing against a good defense. You're risking the blowout factor, but some of these guys have to go off and put up some numbers in this game.
All right, so that's the trickiness of the card tonight. You do like at least one player prop as of right now, early this morning. What do you want to do with Brandon Miller?
Yeah, so Brandon Miller on the points over. Ever since he came back from injury 7 games ago, he has been playing really well. He's averaging 20.4 points, 5 rebounds, 2.7 assists over the last 7 games. He's generally been floating in the 16 to 18 and a half range on his point prop. So he's the guy that I would look over on. But I might wait again because, again, Ball and Bridges are both questionable for Charlotte. That's just how this slate is going to be tonight, apparently. It's all wait and see. So I like him even more if one or both of those guys were to sit. But even within the flow of things for the Hornets, when those guys have played, just the him coming back from injury with a guy like Gordon Hayward out, and then Charlotte moving Terry Rozier to Miami has opened up a larger role for him. There was one game that he got in early foul trouble against Houston where he only played 20 minutes. And other than that, he's been getting a ton of volume. He's over his point prop in 5 of the 7 games. There was the foul trouble game and then just an awful shooting game for him where he had 12 points against Utah. And the other angle to look at this, to play it 2 ways, Brandon Miller first quarter point prop has been 4.5 throughout this run. He's been playing since the Rozier trade more minutes. He used to play about 8 minutes in the first quarter. Now he's playing 10, 11 minutes in the first quarter when he's not in foul trouble. So he's gone over. He scored 5 or more points in the first quarter in 6 of the 7 games since he's come back from injury. And has, even though he missed it once, given himself a much better shot at it with about 2 extra minutes since the Rozier trade.
Great observation. We have 30 seconds here. You like Xavier as well in college basketball?
Yeah, I'm leaning Xavier. It's a tough college hoops card tonight. The red flag, the reason why I haven't bet them is that they're 8-4 at home, which, yeah, nice record. But you look at some of these college teams, the teams you want to be backing at home at this stage of the season are 10-2, 11-1, undefeated like an Iowa State. So that's the reason I haven't played them so far. But if you look at the betting splits up on vsin.com, very sharp to Xavier in what's essentially a home pick'em game.
You can catch the Sweats weekends, 8 a.m. Eastern, right here on VSiN and also the DraftKings Network. Julian's on that show every single weekend, and it goes for a full 2 hours here. They do a really good job on it. Julian, thanks for the time today. Good luck. All
right, thanks for having me, guys.
Big card tonight in the NBA, as he explained there. Tricky card tonight at this point.
Heat favorite. What an awful. They lost 7 in a row.
Yeah, I know.
I got to take the Kings.
Up next, best and worst NBA and college basketball teams ATS and with totals. How about 85% ATS 20 games into the season? Find out which team next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Got to check out the new vsin.com. Fresh look, enhanced navigation, mobile first focus, expanded educational content. Check it out today, vsin.com. Get up there.
All right, here we go with your weekly look at the best teams in the NBA and college basketball. ATS will throw in totals as well. The best teams in the NBA covering spreads, OKC. They've been at or near the top the entire year. 30, 16, and 1 on the season. Been a nice moneymaker for the Thunder. Magic, 30 and 17. Philadelphia, 28 and 17.
That's surprising.
Look at who is now sitting right there in the top 5 with the New York Knicks. 28, 18, and 2 ATS on the year.
You son of a gun. You never. Stranger things have happened. What are you, 5 back of the Celtics? 6 back?
Well, that division back can't get there. But for those of you who were betting this team on the Eastern Conference many, many weeks ago, you probably have a decent number on your hands.
Man, Celtics have an injury. You never know. I mean, but the Knicks, take a look at the Knicks schedule. If they're going to make a trade, and if they get Brogdon and Randall only misses a week or 2, their schedule is very doable. Plus, they're hot. They're good.
The Celtics schedule is also very easy down the stretch.
Yeah, okay. Well,
that's the problem. And
16 and 2 in January and 8 in a row. I'm on board.
They're a machine, man.
Yeah, they are. They do not mess around.
The Pacers are 27, 19, and 3 ATS on the year. The worst teams in the NBA. Oh, would you look at that? The Hawks.
Peekaboo.
12 and 35.
Why are the Lakers so bad? You know, AD didn't play last night, and then after the game, LeBron did the what do you call it? Hourglass tweet.
Sands to the hourglass.
Right, the sand. Days of Our Lives.
These are the days of our lives.
My mom loved that show.
Here's the hotline. We'll end on a cliffhanger on a Friday. You want to know what happens? Call. Go ahead.
But that's an interesting tweet that he had, and he's exactly right. And you got to put pressure on Pelinka. There is no reason. How about the crowd chanting to Russell, "We don't want you"? That was awesome.
I know it.
Because you knew Murray would play well as a showcase game.
Here's where Pelinka's kind of up against it. The pressure was on him to make moves last year, and he did a beautiful job.
I know.
And now the players are not living up to their end. So now what is he supposed to do?
Good question for Doug Kazarian, who's a L.A. guy, right? Could you trade Reeves? I don't know. But this is a debacle. They should not be around 500 with LeBron and AD.
Yeah, and when AD misses games, they get run out of the building.
Yeah.
The Hawks are, I think they're 4 and 18 ATS at home. I bet against them 3 times. They're the losers.
At home? The home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Are you
sometimes.
serious?
I know.
The Hornets are 16 and 29. The Suns 17, 28 and 2.
Durant's return to the Nets tonight.
What is this?
I'm glad he said that. They go, how about, is there going to be a video? Are they going to do a video for me? He goes, please, God, no. I don't want that.
Honestly, did he play there for a year and a half?
Well, but yeah, when it's all said and done with the injuries,
yeah, you got to include the injuries.
Yeah, right.
All right, Bucks 18, 28 and 1. Heat 19, 27 and 1. You bring up a good point. How are they favored tonight against the Kings?
I don't get it. Sacramento's good. That's the team that bothers, a little concerned, because we got Pizzeria coming up with our 6-1, 5-1 ticket on the Clippers to win the Pacific. Yeah. I'm still Sacramento, underrated team. No one talks about them. They're good.
All right, best teams in the NBA with totals. We'll go to the over here first. Warriors 27 and 16. Philly 28 and 17. Pacers. That one, again, that movement last night, 10-point move, still got there. 28, 19, and 2 on the year. Bucks 28 and 19. Pistons 26, 19, and 1 under the radar with the Pistons this year. And in fact, I think they've given some of those back recently because they were one of the better teams at the very top for a long time. Your best under teams in the NBA. Nuggets 30-18 to the under. Grizz 28-19, Knicks 28-20, Heat 27-20, and the Clippers are 25-19-1. This is the team I was talking about as we flip to college basketball. Best team's ATS, and I know we do it every single week, but look at Minnesota still. That's 85% on the year. 17-3 ATS through 20 games. That's incredible.
So was Richmond.
Yeah.
I think they were picked to finish 11th in the Atlantic 10.
Is that right?
I believe so. I think that's what Joel and Ari wrote about, yeah. And they just beat Dayton, and they're having a hell of a year.
15-4-1. Southern Utah 14-4. A&M Corpus Christi 13-4. Eastern Washington under the radar 13-4-1 ATS. Your worst teams in college basketball against the spread. Pacific 4-16. Old Dominion, same mark. Detroit 5-17.
I don't think they have a win.
No, I think they're winless.
Yeah. What Detroit? They used to be okay. I mean, this is jeez.
And 5 covers on the year. Stonehill 5-16 in Arkansas. Really bad year from Eric Musselman's crew. 5-15 ATS. To totals here in college hoops. Best teams to the over. Niagara 15-4, going over on average by 11.7 points per game. Denver 14-4, clearing the over by 12 plus points per game. Wright State 15-5, getting there by double digits. Kentucky 14-5. That total tonight against Florida, I think, is 171.
Wow.
College hoops.
Giddy up.
San Jose State 14-5 to the over, and your best teams in this sport to the under. Dartmouth 12-3, staying under by 7.9 points per game. Western Illinois 13-4. Notre Dame is 15-5. Vandy 14-5, and Eastern Illinois 11-4-2 to the under. One thing, you had this in win-lose with Georgia Tech and North Carolina. I was watching that game last night. That to me appeared, and the broadcast was all over it. I don't know how they missed that call. That should have been a foul at the very end. I thought R.J. Davis should have been going to the free throw line. I thought he got hacked, and no call. We'll see you later. And the problem, though, again, Georgia Tech got bailed out. Their freshman guard hit a nice shot to take the lead. The 2 possessions prior to that, Pauly, this happens in college basketball every night with so many teams. They have no clue how to run end of game stuff. It's been going on for 15 years in this sport. It's just dribble, dribble, dribble. I'm going to take a 3 with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, why is that? Is it the player goes rogue? The coaches stink? What is it?
I think it's the former, and I think it's just...
It's been a problem. It's been a problem for a long, long time. The crap that you see, end of game and out of timeouts, it turns into a 3-point heave.
It's so bad. I think it's AAU basketball, what they're taught with those coaches when they're 14, 15 years old, and the style of basketball that the NBA has turned into.
No one goes 2 for 1, ever.
No.
That's another thing.
But when you watch guys now for a decade like Curry and Lillard and 100 other guys in the NBA where a 30-footer is no problem, that's how kids want to play. Yeah.
Detroit's 0-22.
Oh.
And Richmond is 7-0 in the conference play in first place in the A-10. Ahead of Dayton. The other thing, the home court advantage in the Mountain West Conference. Colorado State got the big win and cover last night against the Aztecs, and you got that New Mexico game coming up. Just look at New Mexico, how good they've been at home, running people out. So when the good teams are at home in the Mountain West, I mean, it's a great home court advantage for the New Mexico, Colorado State, Utah State, San Diego State.
Now, I think Boise State, they're kind of playing themselves out of the tournament at this point.
Yeah, I would agree.
Overall, they still had a decent year. This New Mexico number opened up, I think, the first number I saw last night was 9.5. 11 now already. They are a buzzsaw at home, like you said.
Yeah. Eviscerated Nevada the other day. Almost scored 100 on them, too.
Yeah, and that angle that did not come in last night, where unranked teams are favored at home against ranked teams, 0-2. Nova lost to Marquette.
How about that?
And Oklahoma really had no problems whatsoever against K-State. So it's not a blind bet. It's not whenever you see that. It used to be, I think, much better than what it has been over recent years. There's more to the handicap than that.
Yep. Good fun. Always something going on. You know, we're still, 11 days away from the Super Bowl, but still, how about Art Smith going to the Steelers?
I
how
hate
about
it.
That,
I absolutely hate it for that team.
Come on, Pittsburgh. He wasn't good in Tennessee. And then he was in charge with the play calling with Atlanta, and that's the guy you go with?
I know. The number one thing is, what are they going to do at quarterback? They have to make a move because they can't be serious about bringing back Pickett and the other guys they have behind him. You're not going to do anything with Rudolph.
I would love to see Fields go to the Steelers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
What kind of a team? But the offense now with Art Smith, is it going to be 38 design runs every single game?
Yeah. Bubble screens, short stuff. Pickens going to have a tantrum.
He's going to be breaking things on the sidelines.
Yep.
They have good players.
Yeah.
They have nice weapons.
Why would you hire that guy?
I don't get it. I do. Of all the guys you could have had, you settle on Arthur Smith. Oh, you're right. That's a good point. Why was he thought to be so good in Tennessee?
He wasn't. And then the other thing is Pittsburgh's so loyal. Like, even if Art's awful, they're going to keep him around forever.
That's another good point.
Look how long it took to fire Canada. The fans couldn't stand him.
If that guy got another job, fine. But Pittsburgh?
It's like you see. Did you see who the favorite is to get the DC job with the Rams? Your buddy. You know,
Brandon Staley.
Yeah, right.
The Packers were talking about that, I believe.
God.
Yeah, he'll end up somewhere. That will happen.
Did you watch the Chargers defensively?
I know.
I mean, this can't be. This can't be.
The recycling of coaches, man, once they get in. Up next, best bets at Pebble Beach with Indy Jeff Seeley. He loves the price for a top 20 bet this week. Find out which golfer next.